Hey there, Sheryl here. It's a very exciting day, and I'm so honored to have a very special guest. Welcome, Carrie, to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Sheryl.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about, in my opinion, and I think a lot of you will agree, a very special topic. With everything going on, we have a next generation of leaders that are coming in an effort to inspire them and give them hope, but also have them not hold back because, just to really learn, honestly, how to dream big and how to plan for those dreams, and then how to have confidence and really have the tools and resources to move forward. I'm really excited to talk about you and all of the amazing work that you're doing at buildOn. But before we hop into all of your incredible initiatives, as well as what we can do, we have a conversation before we hopped on, and with everything going on, a lot of times, at least I don't want to say I'm guilty of this, but it's definitely happened to me where I want to help, I want to do more, and then I'm not really sure where to start. And so I don't know if anyone else feels that way as well. And then sometimes we just hold back and we don't do as much as we could. So we're going to talk about some solutions that you have for that, some easy things that can have big impact. But before we hop to it, I wanted to ask you a couple questions. The first one being, as a younger person, did you have, let's say from the age of 6 to 12 or even a little bit older, did you have any experiences that either you felt like propelled you to greatness or really, knocked you back a few and that was really frustrating and difficult? Anything that you can share?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So I grew up in the military. Like my dad was a Marine. I moved all over the country. I went to 4 different elementary schools, 3 different junior highs, and 2 different high schools. And I think the thing for me was just like constantly moving, constantly being the new kid. You never know where you fit in. You can't maintain friendships, and like it really affects your confidence to walk into a new city, a new place, and not knowing anybody. I don't know if you've ever been the new kid, but just like walking into a school and not even knowing where to sit in cafeteria and having to establish yourself and find your friends and find your voice like over and over and over again. And I think that experience for me really pushed me to try to figure out like who I am and to just have that, you just have to put one foot in front of the other and introduce yourself and just push through whatever like fear and anxiety you have in terms of doing anything, because otherwise you can just like sort of dissolve into the background.
Yeah. And so how has that impacted you now? Because I think all of us have been in some situations, whether it's a new job or a new city, probably not as much as you had been through early in your life for sure. But I think we can all relate to that uncomfortableness, and that, we have a choice. We can take one road of just kind of closing up. If you think about being a flower, just closing up and not letting anyone see who we really are, or to just really lean into it and really push forward through it. So how did that affect you today?
Yeah, I think it's just like, every time I go, I'm in a very like entrepreneurial role at buildOn. And I think that the world is constantly changing. Like we have so many disruptions that are going on in the world right now, and you never know, how something's going to turn out. And I guess it just gave me the confidence and the ability to just, push through anything and just say, I'm going to try, I'm just going to put myself out there and be my authentic self, because, like you can't hold back, right? You never know how something's going to turn out. And it just really taught me to just push through, I guess.
Yeah, and that's huge. And so can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved with buildOn and what you're currently doing there now? And there's a lot of amazing initiatives going on. And I know some of them are a little secret right now, but let me know if you can share.
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up, like I said, like my dad was in the military. So public service was always the most important thing to me. And when I found buildOn, I was just, I was blown away that an organization like this exists, something that's so rooted in service, like not just service to your country or your community, but service to your to the world, and really thinking of everybody who exists in the world as like, one community, and that you can be part of a movement to really affect change and be in solidarity with people. And so when I found this organization, I'd worked for a newspaper, I had worked for a school for visually impaired children, I had done fundraising at other organizations, and I was just completely blown away. And I've had the best experiences with buildOn, from traveling to Africa, building schools with students from the south side of Chicago, to like serving in the South Bronx and seeing students really step up and lead. I really think that this type of service and this type of citizenship shows you the very best of humanity. And so I love this organization so much. I feel so blessed to have found it. And I think, we're going through a lot of changes in the world right now with COVID and with, all of the conversation about racial justice, the necessary and important conversations about racial justice. And a lot of that is filtering into our work at buildOn right now. We've had to pivot to doing everything digitally. Most of our work is in-person service. Like we go into soup kitchens, encampments in Oakland, elementary schools to provide after-school care for parents who can't afford it. But none of that can happen right now because we can't, our students aren't even going to school. We can't do service projects in person. And so we've pivoted to really do like online inclusive service. We just finished a project called Make Masks Save Lives, where, we were talking to our students and they were like, one of the things we know is that we need masks. Our students have jobs like working for Grubhub. They have to ride the subway to school, or not to school, to work, and to get groceries every day, and they didn't have access to masks. So we organized our entire buildOn community of donors, students, and even our countries abroad to sew and make masks to distribute to people in need, and we made over 85,000 just in the 3 months.
Wow, that's huge. So for people that aren't, we've understand a little bit about the things that buildOn does, but can you give a broader understanding of what buildOn is and what they're accomplishing around the globe?
Sure, absolutely. So our mission is to break the cycle of poverty, illiteracy, and low expectations through service and education. And that's a bit of a mouthful, but what it really means is that we empower communities to take action through service and education. So in the US, we run service learning programs in underserved high schools in Boston, Detroit, Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Bronx, and Oakland, California. And then globally, we empower communities through a community participatory model to build schools. So we provide the funding and the skilled labor. The communities provide all of the unskilled labor to build schools internationally. And then the cool thing is we take students in a non-COVID world. We take students from places like Oakland to communities in Nepal so that they can partner together to build those schools. We break ground on a new school every 2 days, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, we talked earlier also, I was at I was a keynote speaker for your event in Detroit, and wow, what a learning experience that was for me. I can't imagine what you guys are accomplishing and how many lives are changing. So that is super incredible. And so a lot of times, as I mentioned, sometimes we want to help, but we're not really sure what to do. So if someone is really interested in buildOn, and I think that it sounds like an amazing organization, what is one thing that they could do just kind of entry level to get involved? Maybe they're not ready to commit large sums of money or time, but what's one way that they can do something?
Yeah, so every quarter we launch a one buildOn service project. So it's an easy service project that you can do at home, that you can do with your family, you can do remotely, you don't have to go out into the world necessarily, that we unite the entire one buildOn community around. So like the last project was the Make Masks project, where we actually shipped out a box full of supplies so that way you can make masks. And I had a list of places in each of our key communities, where you could then like send your masks after you've made them, so you know that they're getting to a person who needs them. We're getting ready to launch another service project. We're not ready to say quite what it is yet, but we'll be launching it in early October. And so I really encourage people to follow us on Instagram or sign up for our emails on our website. So when we're ready to launch that project, you can get right there, because it is really hard, right? Like there's so many messages, there's so many things you can take action on, and you want just like that one little thing that you know that you can do. And we want to make sure that you can do it safe and so in social distance, and that you can do it with your family.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like the best thing is to, in your Instagram handle, we have it scrolling across there, but it's just buildOn. And to your website, I assume, is just www.buildon.org. Make sure it's .org, not .com. And then finally, you touched on this a little bit, but it's so important that companies are really dedicating themselves and taking action, not just acknowledging, racial injustice, but also taking action. So can you also share a little bit about, how buildOn is committed to racial equality?
Yeah, so diversity and inclusion and equity has really been a very important part of our work since the beginning. But we have been taking strides to become specifically an anti-racist organization. So really, we have an EDI council who helps look at all of our policies and all of our work. We're doing training on ethical storytelling. We have a Me and White Supremacy book club for all of the Caucasian leaders within our organization to like really help us learn about how white supremacy affects everything that we do. And we're really committed to it. And we've found that a lot of our supporters are committed to it as well. Rodan and Fields, which is one of our biggest supporters, they're based out there in the Bay Area. They've funded unconscious bias training for our entire organization, and including our boards, our national and our regional boards. So we're taking it really seriously, and we're finding that a lot of the companies that we work with are taking it seriously too, and are using their participation with buildOn to to really support students who are leading change in their communities as part of that initiative.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing, because I think it's incredibly important that when companies especially kind of put their money where their mouth is, and also it's not always easy to acknowledge or raise your hand and say, I'm trying to say this in a PC, politically correct kind of way, but a lot of times we just need to learn. We need to be educated. A lot of times that we might have a good heart, we might not have any ill intentions, but maybe we're just uneducated. And I think the reading and the book clubs and becoming aware, then taking action, is really important. So I really want to honor you guys for doing that and really being role models in that area. So I just want to reiterate that if anyone out there would like to learn more about buildOn, check them out on Instagram. Their handle is buildOn, and then website is buildon.org. Carrie Pena, thank you so much for your time. You're doing incredible things, and congratulations on your recent promotion, by the way. Even though it happened in January, there was a lot of other stuff going on. It's really important to celebrate that. I really want to honor you for that. They're really lucky to have you.
Thank you so much, Sheryl, and thanks for having me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. I look forward to following you and keeping in touch with all of the amazing things that are going on and participating in that next quarter's event once we know what it is.
Awesome.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.